Politics in Vanderburgh County. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And we're going to dive right into that today on This Week in the City County Observer. I'm Johnny Kincaid. Thanks for taking a little time to join us here. Be sure to subscribe and like, share this program so that other people have an opportunity to get in on the fun as well. First of all, just want to acknowledge the amazing turnout of voters showing up to cast ballots on Election Day. It was just incredible to be a part of that. I worked at one of the polls and just phenomenal. I'll tell you, I met a 94-year-old woman and I asked her, how many elections have you voted in? And she looked at me and she said, all of them. I mean, she makes it her commitment to fulfill that civic obligation to get to the polls and cast a vote. What really tipped things, the county elections, of course, for all the county offices, all swung Republican, which it was to be expected because it's been the pattern in the past that we have a lot of Republicans in the county, and there were 7,000 more people casting straight ticket Republican ballots than cast straight ticket Democrat ballots. And that was a huge difference maker in the election. The elections are over, thank goodness. So we're not watching those campaign ads, although I'm still getting fundraising texts from one of the political parties. Still, after the election is over with. I know that before the election, I was on the podcast talking about the possibility that McCormick could pull off some sort of real surprise, that it was at least within the realm of possibility that she could actually win this. And other people believe that as well because she had a massive influx of cash coming her way toward the end of the campaign. Didn't turn out to be the case. In fact, Braun won what I would consider a mandate kind of vote. He had enough of a percentage there that you really could call it a mandate for Mike Braun. And congratulations to Mike for that. Look forward to seeing what he does in the governor's seat here. And the lieutenant governor-elect, Micah Beckwith. I'm looking forward, actually, to getting both of these guys on this program because they're both really interesting and I have a great time when I get together with Micah, so looking forward to that. When we boil things down to the county elections, no surprise there. The Republicans swept that, and that's the norm in Vanderburgh County. When you get to city elections, the Democrats tend to have the upper hand. In the county, the Republicans have the upper hand to the point of most of the time sweeping all of the county offices. That's exactly what happened this time around. Part of the win for Republicans in Vanderburgh County were the number of straight ticket voters. Now, I remember at a time, the Democrats had a huge number of straight ticket voters. Like they had a 2,500, 3,000 vote advantage when it came to straight tickets over the Republicans, and that has now flipped. And this year, the Republicans in Vanderburgh County showed up and voted straight ticket with 7,000 more straight ticket Republicans than straight ticket Democrats. So pretty amazing turnout there. Now that the election is over with, that doesn't mean that it's an end of politics because there's plenty of politicking to go around here. And there's an interesting political story happening right now in the Democratic Party for Vanderburgh County. And I want to get into this just a little bit here with you because this is, at times I kind of go, is this really happening? I mean, people really... Well, okay, let's just hear it out and see if you have that same reaction of going, huh? How can that be? When Alex Burton decided that he wanted to become the state representative, then he had to vacate his city council seat. Now, he didn't have to do that until the elections, and then, boom, vacates his seat. And then the way that they replace somebody, because special elections would be way too expensive to do to try to give everybody a chance to cast a vote on it. So instead, it's the precinct committee people from the ward that you're filling. Now, in this case, it's the 4th ward, and there are actually 16, count them, 16 precinct committeemen, and they get the vote on who becomes the next city council person, or they had the vote. They've already determined that. But there were some problems in all of this. So let me just share the story with you real quick. 3 people said that they wanted to run for this position. Jamie Sheath, who was a good friend of Mayor Stephanie Terry's and raised a boatload of money for the Stephanie's run for mayor. You had Tanisha Carruthers, who Alex Burton really liked, and that was his choice to fill that position. And then kind of the outsider, that was Angie Bullock, and Angie lives in the Jacobsville area, still part of the 4th ward, and kind of the outside person in the whole process, didn't have big strings to pull. So as the caucus is nearing for the Democrats, Alex Burton decided to publicly share his support with for Tanisha Carruthers. And he's certainly within his rights to do this, all right? So he writes his letter, and it's published in Our Times newspaper, and it is a very glowing endorsement of Tanisha Carruthers, saying she is the person who knows the 4th ward, and the only person who can truly represent the entire 4th ward, and those sorts of things. And then he also listed the names of all 16 of the precinct committee people who would be voting on this position, and said, now is the time for us to take action. Of course, when I read that to mean take action and call these 16 people and tell them that you want Carruthers in there as the person taking that city council seat. Well, once that ran, Jamie Sheath decided to back out because Angie Bullock had actually, she filed a challenge to both of the other candidates, saying that they didn't meet residency requirements. So she said neither one of them lived in the 4th ward for long enough to qualify. For a person to become elected to the city council, you have to have lived in the ward that you're running to represent at least 6 months, and you have to have lived in the city for a year. And so Angie Bullock says that wasn't the case with either one of these. I got to get her in to tell this story. She's got to come in and talk about this sometime. Anyway, so Jamie pulls out. She's no longer running. Now, according to Angie Bullock, she had been told that the chairperson of the Vandenberg County Democratic Party, that would be Cheryl Schultz, was going to disqualify Tanisha Carruthers on the day of the caucus. So when the caucus rolled around, that never happened. And the assumption from Angie is that, well, maybe Alex Burton applied some pressure to the chair of the party to not disqualify her. Well, Alex adamantly denies that, says he has not had any conversation about this with anybody associated with the party. So they hold the caucus, and Tanisha Carruthers wins the caucus. But in the meantime, Angie now is still looking at this disqualification. And there's some pretty compelling stuff here. There is a form, it's a CEB-5 form. It's a state form for people to declare their candidacy to fill that vacancy on the city council or for any public office. And on the CEB-4 form, Carruthers listed an address in the 4th ward, And she then publicly has been telling people, come by and see me at my home in the 4th Ward. But she also said that she was registered to vote in the 4th Ward, and she did not change her voter registration until the day after she filed that form. She had been registered to vote in the 3rd Ward, and that's where she would have had to have voted in this last election of 2024, because her voter registration was still there in the 3rd Ward. But she signed this form with one of those, I attest to the accuracy of all the information on this form, disclaimers on it. She signed it saying that she was registered to vote in the 4th Ward when she really wasn't. So this thing is going to continue to fester, all right? What's going to happen next is that Angie Bullock is looking for an attorney to represent her, and she wants to file suit for this. She had thought about trying to appeal to the 8th District Party chair, who is Dave Crooks, and Dave informed her that she can't appeal it. And besides him saying that, it turns out that the Vanderburgh County chair is the vice chair of the 8th District. So, that's not going to happen. So at any rate, it's now working its way toward lawyers are jumping in and getting involved, and hopefully this thing isn't going to drag out forever, but it's certainly an interesting scenario, and one that we hope that the Democrats are able to get resolved, because, if there are split votes and somebody who's not qualified is making the deciding vote, and say you've got an issue that comes down to a 5-4, and Carruthers in the 4th Ward is that 5th and deciding vote. What happens then if she's disqualified from the council later on, after having made that vote and others? Does that nullify the vote because she actually had no, if the court were to agree with Angie Bullock, that would mean that Carruthers has no standing to be able to cast that vote. So thereby it would be void. I don't know. Is that how it works? It'll certainly be interesting to see. But I kind of scratch my head. I watch these things and I go, only in Vanderburgh County politics would some of these things be happening. And this gift is going to keep on giving. We're going to keep hearing more on this, and we'll certainly share more with you, because I'm sitting going through some of the documentation on this and looking at more information, and there's more to share. Simple as that. So stay tuned. We'll have more on this coming your way, and a whole lot more. There is just so much stuff brewing here in Vanderburgh County that it'll just blow your mind. So keep coming back. We'll keep sharing the big stories with you right here on This Week with the City County Observer. I'm Johnny Kincaid. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to share and like the program so that other people, it raises it up in those searches and all of that stuff, and other people then get a chance to see the show as well. Subscribe. Do that so that you don't miss out on any future episodes of This Week. I'm Johnny Kincaid. Have a great week.